Welcome to ReginaldESQ. I'm Underhook and this is my review of the British Tier 4 light tank, the Covenanter. Now, is it any good? Yeah, it's okay. It's okay with qualifications. I'll explain. The tank has 340 hit points, which is average for a Tier 4 light tank. It weighs from 18 to 20 tons, has 360 horsepower, and a speed of 50. Now, the speed of 50 is the equal slowest in tier. The other slow ones are the, well, I say slow, it's not slow, but it's the Keiho, the Japanese tank, and the AMX-40, which is the French one. Now, if you've driven the AMX-40, don't think this is as slow as the AMX-40. The AMX-40 does have a top speed of about 50, but it takes forever to get there. This tank gets there very quickly. It's very similar to the Cruiser 3 and the Cruiser 4 in that it gets to its speed quickly and it's very strong at that speed and it goes well up hills. So very, very happy with the way the tank moves, even though it's not the fastest. It's equal slowest in its tier. It's still quite powerful at that speed. The traverse speed of 40 is good. Yeah, a little bit on the upper of the average side of things. The turret traverse of 48 is very good. There are some tanks that have a better turret traverse, but not many. And the view range of 340 is pretty much smack on average, and the signal range of 550 is about average as well. Now, the camouflage on this tank is not fantastic. It's not the worst. It does maintain its camouflage, full camouflage while moving, which is good. But it's on the lower side of average, so it's not terrible. It's adequate, and I didn't really have a problem with it. I really like the look of this tank, though. I think it's a very good-looking tank. It's quite balanced. It sort of slopes to the front, slopes to the back, and the turret. I really like the look of the turret. It's a nice-looking tank. The gun depression on this tank, it has the second best gun depression of all the Tier 3 tanks, and it's a little bit of a weird one, so I've actually got it written down here. Let me read what I've got here because it's a little bit confusing. The gun depression will vary a little bit depending on the gun that you have. For example, if you have the howitzer, then you'll have minus 12 degrees of gun depression to the front, and about 13 or 14 to the sides, and 10 to the rear. So they all, it doesn't matter which gun you have, the gun depression is not as good to the rear. It's about 10 to the rear, but the gun depression is very good to the sides. It's better at the sides than it is at the front. Now, if you run some of the other guns, you'll get sort of 15 gun depression to the front. The only tank that does better than even the 12 degrees is the M5 Stuart, the American tank. That has 20 degrees of gun depression, which is absolutely crazy. Strangely, though, the Japanese version, the M5A1 Stuart, only has 10 degrees of gun depression. So anyway, it's a very good hill fighter because of that. Well, it would be if it had a fantastic gun. Unfortunately, it doesn't. Let me get into that gun thingy for you in the research area. Okay. We'll get the 2-pounder up. We'll get the howitzer up. And we'll get the Bofors up. So on the Cruiser 4, the top gun was the Bofors, and I really liked the Bofors gun. And you had a choice really of the Bofors here or the 2-pounder being the sniper gun. What in this particular sinking store, gee, thanks for that, Wargaming. In this particular Bofors gun, the stats are a bit better. It actually works better. It loads, the complete loading is quicker, the time shooting between rounds is quicker, so it works a little bit better. But let's get into it. So you start off, we've got the 2-pounder gun, which you still can use. It has a 78 penetration with 50 damage per shot. Fantastic rate of fire of 28.57, very rapid fire. 0.36 accuracy, which is very good, and a 1.7 aim time, which is also very good. I did find, though, with this 2-pounder that the penetration was lacking. even at tier 4, you know, you can't penetrate Matildas. Very difficult to penetrate KV1. You can penetrate the KV1 with premium ammunition, but even that's not guaranteed. It's still very difficult from the front. You need to actually outflank it and then use premium ammo. The Bofors gun, which look was really good. Look, this 2-pounder, I should say, has 78 penetration. In the Cruiser 4, it only had 64 penetration. So the penetration's been buffed to 78 for the tier 4. It's still not enough though, because tier 4, tier 5 tanks become very tough, and tier 6 tanks, you pretty much can't penetrate any tier 6 tanks except, you know, arty and stuff like that. I've even bounced shots off arty, but then I'm not a great shot. The Bofors gun, though, is pretty much the same. It just fires a bit quicker and loads a bit quicker, but it's the same pen as it was in the Cruiser 4. And I found the 63 pen, it just isn't enough now. It just isn't good enough at this tier, and that gun to me is a bit of a waste of time. So I actually stuck with the 2-pounder here for nearly all my games. I have got a game with the Bofors gun. I've got a game for you with the 2-pounder here, and I've got a game with the howitzer for you, so you can have a look at them all and decide for yourself. I wasn't using the howitzer because this tank has very light armor. It's not strong armor at all, and this howitzer gun has very poor accuracy of 0.53, so you have to get close. And I thought, well, a tank with no armor, I don't want to be getting close to people. I don't want people to be spotting me, so I'll use the sniper gun. It was only right at the end I decided I'm just going to use a howitzer to try it out, because I was so frustrated with the lack of penetration on the 2-pounder. And actually it works out okay with the howitzer. It's actually hilarious. You fire a shot, and if it's at range, it takes up to 4 seconds, or sometimes I think it's even more sometimes, before the round actually lands, and it looks like it's coming straight down on the top deck of the tank. I think it just fires into outer space to try and get the range. It's hilarious to watch. Anyway, it has 13.95 rate of fire, so it's a much slower rate of fire, and it has 38 pen, which is stuff all, but it does 175 damage. So because a lot of time at range is hitting them on the top, a lot of them don't have much armor on the top deck, so it actually does okay at range. The only thing is they have to be standing still. If they're moving, you've got not much chance of hitting them, unless you do an amazing guess and it hits them, but you pretty much can't hit them. But if they're standing still, yeah, you fire enough shots you can hit them. 0.53 accuracy is terrible. Even at close range it's a bit rough, and a 2.3 second aiming time is a bit long. But it is effective if you can get into the sides and the rear of tanks. At least with 175 damage, it's not too bad. That's the other trouble with these 2-pounder. Yeah, it does 78 pen, which is, you know, some tanks you can pen, but it only does 50 damage, so even if you do penetrate them, you're not really concerning them. They don't really care, because you're only doing 50 damage. Yeah, even the Matilda, which if you've ever played Matilda, you consider, gee, it does light damage, but luckily it's got a great rate of fire, but it also has fantastic pen. But it does 55 average damage. This thing only does 50. It's really, you have to shoot tanks like, you know, at tier 4, you have to shoot them sort of 8 times to kill them. And if you can lucky enough to penetrate them 8 times, probably not. So it's a tough gun to play. This though is much better. At least if you do penetrate, you do good damage. So yeah, it's worth it. And I actually would recommend the howitzer now, or maybe try them both. Alright, let's get off that. As far as the rest of the grind goes, you have got a turret upgrade, which really doesn't upgrade anything. Everything stays exactly the same, except you get 10 meters more view range. The turret's probably tougher too, harder to damage. Then you got the radio, the engine. Look, I didn't notice a huge difference with the engine, and the tracks give you around about 2. It is in fact 2 more traverse. All right, that's enough of that stuff. We'll get into Tank Inspector and have a closer look at the armor. Basically, though, with this tank, if you're running the 2-pounder, stay at range, hide in bushes, outflank, shoot in the sides of tanks, and just try and basically not get hit. It has got quite good maneuverability and quite good, great acceleration, good speed. It does suffer a little bit when it's going slow. It doesn't turn well when it's going slow. But it's popping up, taking shot, popping back. It is good, and it is good on hills because of the good power and good gun depression. However, the mantlet's not very tough, so you can't take anything except from maybe some multi-fire cannons at lower tiers. I generally run binoculars, toolkit, and camouflage net on this tank. My crew, the commander's been 100%, and he has a mentor and 6th sense. but the rest of the crew is not very well trained. They vary from 80% to 87%. Okay, so let's have a look at the tank in Tank Inspector. We'll get the colorized view. It's easy to see that way. You can see all the armor value here. We have this strip at the front, which is 31, and that's dead flat. There's no sloping on that at all, so that's going to be very easily penetrated by everything except, say, tier 3 autocannons. We have here a sloped piece of armor at which is 16 millimeters thick. When armor's this thin, even if you slope it, it doesn't help much because it's so thin to begin with, and the lower plate's also 16 mils. The top deck is very thin at 9 millimeters and 7 millimeters in the back section. The driver has got some protection here. He has 40 mils of armor, and on the side he has 30 mils. The side of the whole tank is also 30 mils. Now the front of the turret is also 30 mils, and it's 30 mils uniformly right around. You do get some differences in the armor values. You can see the equivalent there changing simply because of the bumps and slopes and things on the armor, but basically it's fairly flat, and it's 39 mils of armor. The turret ring is quite strong at 40 mils. When I say quite strong, it's weak, but it's okay. So at least they've strengthened the turret ring, so that's something. This side of the turret is 20, and the rear of the turret and rear of the tank is 25. So basically, look, everyone can penetrate you at will. Some really small sort of little light tanks may have trouble with this driver's box and the front of the turret, but that's about it. So you might get a few lucky bounces, but basically you're a pincushion. Okay, I've just got 3 or 4 clips for you showing you which tanks you need to be sort of wary of with a tank with light armor. I'm rushing back across this field to try and stop the enemy capping, so I'm taking a bit of a risk. I'm trying to get their arty because it's my best chance of winning, and we get hit on the way by KV-1S. That's a pretty obvious one to watch out for. So yeah, basically watch out for anything that fires HE, that's the thing, because the armor's so thin it just blows to pieces.
Penetration. Enemy armor is damaged. Enemy is hit. We're done for. Everyone get out.
And it takes you a lot of hits to take someone else out. Let's get into some gameplay.
Time to roll out.
Okay, the map is Cervigorsk, where it's a tier 5 game, and we're in our tier 4 Covenanter. Now we are using the Bofors gun, so it's the auto loader gun. Has around 63 pen and does 50 damage per round, about 50 I think, 50-55. So the crew is only 76% I think, except for the commander who's 100% and has 6th sense. Now, I'd be interested to know, or is it T28 sitting up there? So this gun, yeah, fires, you press the mouse button once and it fires 2 rounds. Then you press it again, fires another 2 rounds, and then the 4-shot magazine is then empty and it has to reload. It doesn't take long to reload though. Yeah, I didn't get many tier 4 games in this. I've played 44 games and I've had 5 of those games were tier 4 games. And I didn't actually get my first tier 4 game until my 23rd game. So I'd be interested to know if anyone else has had the same experience, or I'd also be interested to know if anyone else has had a completely different experience, whether it's been sort of balanced or you've had a lot of tier 4 games. Because I'm just wondering whether that's a deliberate thing or just that's just random and that's just, you know, bad luck or whatever. Anyway, so we made quick work of that tank. T28 has poor armor, so it wasn't too difficult. And of course I've tried to pick a game where I did well, so you'll find that I actually penetrate fairly well.
We didn't even scratch them. Enemy
Okay, so the
armor is
first
damaged.
shots didn't penetrate, but then the second ones did. I think his side was a little bit too angled for me to get through, but then we turned front on, it was able to get through the front. Chinyu doesn't have great armor.
We didn't even scratch them.
Nor does the Chihei, but we couldn't get through it. So as you can see, not a lot of pen.
Penetration.
So the Chihei is actually a lower tier than the Chinyu, and actually has armor that's not as good as the Chinyu, but I'm not getting through. Just doing some speculative shooting or blind shooting. So KV-1s, obviously if they've got the HE gun, they can one-shot kill you, so you've got to watch out for them. Anything that shoots HE really can one-shot kill you, most of them. Okay, so I'm a bit worried about this B1 trying to get our Artie to decide to go back, but he's actually just nailed our Artie already, so I'm too late. But we've still got another Artie left, so we really need to get rid of this guy if possible, even though I'm not too confident about being able to pen a B1. Are you thinking what I am thinking, B1? I think I am B2. Aha, there he is.
We didn't even scratch them.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure I wasn't going to track him, just penetrate him, so I was trying to track him there, but didn't have any luck. And he hit us for 55 damage. Fortunately, his gun doesn't do a heck of a lot of damage.
Enemy armor
Okay, so we can penetrate directly from the front, but when he was angled we didn't have any luck, so that was good. Someone else helped out there as well. Oh, but we got the kill, and that's good. So we're on 2 kills, that's nice. So our team's getting thrashed, however. It's 4-8, so it's not looking good for us at all. As you can see, the speed up, uphill is quite good here. We're overtaking that Marder 3 there, and it's quite respectable. Good, powerful tank. And we've just lost another one, so it's 4-9. So at least a few of us here are together. So that's a KV-1. Now, I probably can't penetrate the KV-1. But we're going to try. I know, this is a better target.
Enemy armor is
Oh well, at least we get one shot into that Marder. This KV-1 looks as though he might be AFK.
We didn't penetrate
I'm just
their
shooting for his
armor.
tracks there, but I think he might have actually been already tracked now. I'm looking at the replay. Anyway, I decided there's not really anything we can do, and the Marder should be able to take care of him. I see this, well, our equivalent coming. I decided I'm going to try a nifty maneuver here,
Enemy armor is destroyed.
and it pays off, and no one actually manages to shoot us while we do that maneuver. So that was lucky. Or pure skill, whichever way you look at it. No shot on the Hetzer, so let's try a different perspective. As you can see, the camo is quite good on this tank. We haven't been getting spotted very often, considering I've been taking a few risks. Can't get a shot on this Marder. Here we go.
Got him.
Okay, that was well worth it. There's a T-82 down there. T-82 has a very good gun. I don't want to get in front of it. But there's tanks to be had. Type 34. So can we lead it?
We
No,
didn't
didn't lead enough.
penetrate their armor. We didn't even scratch them.
So there you go. Side of the Type 34 at this range we couldn't get through. Our teammates are getting some good hits on it though. So we're working quite well as a team here by all sticking together, and yeah, if once someone can't hit it, the other tanks sort of outflank it. Oops, except the Marder got nailed. He was sitting there for a long time, and I guess if you're just going to sit still for a long time out in the open like that, sooner or later somebody's going to get to a better position and they're just going to shoot you. Although, you know, a lot of these guys at this tier wouldn't have 6th sense. I've got 6th sense on this tank because because he's also got mentor, and I just want to try and train the crew a little bit quicker. But also just have 6th sense while I'm grinding through these tanks. Here we go. Can we get a shot on this guy? I don't really want to go out of cover because I can't. You know, my armor will get penetrated easily, but he is on low health, so I figure one of the best things we can do at the moment is take him out because it's 9-11. We've evened it up a fair bit. Oh, there's a KV-1 over the other side there, so I've got to be careful here. Now, unfortunately, he didn't appear until it was a little bit later. I could have stopped there and shot him. But it looks like we're still going to get his back.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
So nail him there.
This vehicle has had it.
I thought the KV-1 would get us, but it was a Lorraine. As you can see, HE ammo strikes again. Great comeback by our team, and we actually ended up winning there. As you can see, that was enough to get our Class 1 badge in this tank as well. So, yeah, look, we hit a lot of tanks, we spotted tanks, we did damage, which did really well that game. Especially, it was a Tier 5 game too, so that's pretty good. The AT2 got the most experience, did really well, and the most damage, and did 7 kills. So, that's part of why we made a big comeback. The AT2 got 7 kills and I got 5 kills, so together we did a lot. Let's have a look at the next screen, and I fired 58 shots, 31 of those hit, and of the 31 that hit, 19 penetrated. We did 655 damage. We only received 2 hits, they both penetrated, and that was enough to finish us. We spotted 1, we damaged 7 vehicles and destroyed 5, which is a great effort, and did 166 spotting damage as well, which was really good. Now, as you can see, the profit wasn't that great, and I'm just wondering whether I might have used some premium ammo there, which I didn't notice in the replay. Anyway, 706 experience was enough to get that that badge. Alright, let's go into the next game.
Let's get this show on the road.
Sevagorsk again. Yes, it is, but this time it's from the other side. And this time it's a Tier 4 game. So we're the top tier. And this time, instead of the Bofors gun, we're using the QF 2-pounder. So this is more of the sniper gun. This one has a 78 mils of penetration and does 50 damage. And if you use premium ammo, it does 121 mils of penetration, which is quite good. I will try and watch this time to see if I do switch to premium ammo at all. Although I'm only carrying 3 rounds of premium ammo. The T28 there, I knew he was going to pull out in front of me, but anyway. So, I take a bit of a risk sitting out on this ledge to take my shots, but I have got pretty good camouflage, and I've got 6th sense, so I will know if I get spotted. There you go, I've been spotted. I should have pulled back, because I thought I had one more shot would have finished him, but I didn't realise he's taking so many shots. I should have pulled back much earlier. Got shot with premium ammo there from an M5A1 Stuart Chinese tank. Now, I'll try and go through this building. Can we get him? I'll try and destroy the cover anyway. There we go.
Enemy armor is hit. Ricochet. Penetration.
As you can see, very quick reload.
Enemy armor is damaged.
Just not much damage.
Got him.
And we finally get him.
Critical hit. Penetration.
Okay, stationary target is just an easier hit for me. So if someone's going to stand still, I'll shoot at him. Back to the other guy. Don't think we've got any shots actually to penetrate that medium 3 there.
Enemy armor is hit.
Been spotted again, but they don't have very good shots on me.
Critical hit.
I've got to be careful, the other guy now might pop out to get me. Here he is, sneaking out.
Penetration.
Okay, so I did really well there, so now I'm getting a bit cocky, which is something you never want to do in a tank that hasn't got much armor. Start to think you're indestructible because you've been doing alright, and then you get a lesson usually. AMX-40, I shouldn't have even bothered shooting there, really no chance. Hetzer,
Enemy is hit.
I should have backed away instead of going towards him here, which is silly of me, trying to outmaneuver him, but look at all the tanks there, that was just silly. Anyway, I paid for it. Okay, we ended up winning that game. I forgot to mention too, I think the crew was 81% or something in that game, and the commander was 100%. Oh, maybe I did mention it. Anyway, so that's the 2-pounder gun, the sort of sniper gun. But that was a sort of lower tier sort of a game. We didn't shoot a lot of higher tier tanks. When you're shooting a lot of higher tier tanks, it just doesn't penetrate. Even from the sides, you have to get to the back. It's not good, and KV-1s, Matildas, just very difficult to penetrate them. Anyway, not too bad a game. Now we can see we actually finished on top for experience, and did we finish on top for damage as well? Yep, we did. Even though we got nailed well before the end of the game. So we did okay. And then we can see that we fired 35 shots, 20 of those were direct hits, of which 19 penetrated. So that's actually, contrary to what I've been saying, that's actually excellent penetration. Damage 769, and we received 3 hits, all of those penetrated. We spotted 1, damaged 6, destroyed 2, a little bit of spotting damage, and as you can see we made very good profit there. Most of what we had was profit. So it's all standard ammo, we didn't fire any premium, and yeah. Alright, next game.
Let's get this show on the road.
The map is Hidden Village. We're in the Covenanter again, and it's a tier 5 game. Probably half the tanks on each side are tier 5s, and then there's a few tier 4s and some tier 3s. As you see, very good speed. We're doing 50 kilometers an hour along here, which is the top speed of the tank. Didn't take any time to get there, and this is not, it's not a made road. It's undulating and up and down a little bit, so very powerful, keeps its speed well. Panzer 1C is making a charge in, auto cannon tank. Now I've got the 3-inch howitzer fitted now, and it hates shooting at moving targets. The shell speed, as you'll see later, is very slow. So see how slowly the shell travels? You have to give heaps of lead. That's why I was being very careful and taking my time to shoot, because you just have to aim, and aiming while moving, and yeah. So this howitzer gun has 38 penetration and 175 damage, and with the heat, the premium ammunition, it does 100 penetration and 110 damage. So it's a lot more damage than the 2-pounder, and it's against lightly armored tanks it does the full damage. Against well armored tanks it doesn't do the full damage, but can still do a bit of damage. Now watch how long it takes this shell to travel.
Critical hit.
Ah! 24, we just winged him. That looks like a hit. From outer space they come. The aliens are attacking! Let's time it. 1. Oh, I just counted 1 when I should have said 0. Ready? 0, 1, 2, 3, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4. So it's taking about 3.5 to 4 seconds at 500 meters. Oh, look at that! They must be thinking, "Where's?" I wonder what the hit indicators are saying. Oh. So that was a Covenanter just like us, and as you can see, the top armor is incredibly weak. So that just devastated that tank. 119 damage. There we go, another one gone. Oh, it wasn't us. Electo. Look at that. He moved like a second and a half after we fired. And it missed him. Oh, 35 damage. So you see, it doesn't always do a lot of damage, the HE gun. Just depends a little bit on where it hits. If it hits thin armor, it'll do good damage. If it hits thick armor, it won't do much damage at all. It also likes it to be nice and flat. But wow, they go high, these shots. So as you can see, trying to hit a moving target at that range is virtually impossible. In this game, there's lots of tanks now. I think this guy could be AFK. Because he hasn't moved since the last time I hit him. A bit surprised that didn't hit. The accuracy of the gun is terrible. So you have to fire a lot of shots. But fortunately, no one's paying much attention to me. Okay. And these guys are just... Obviously no one knows I'm here. Whoa! Was that ammo rack, was it? Yay! Alright, so we're kicking butt. It's 10-5. And I've got 4 kills. Wow. Now KV-220, I've only played 3 or 4 games with this gun. I only started using it when I almost finished grinding the tank. And I thought, probably won't do anything to it, to this KV-20, but I'll try. I'll just see how it goes. So I've started firing some standard ammo.
We didn't penetrate their armor.
I think we're actually shooting at the front of his tank. I think he's just got his turret pointing the other way. So I aim for his tracks there. I think we may have actually tracked him. I see him aiming at me, so I try and get out as fast as possible. He gets a clip. He does clip us and does 88. Luckily for us, he's using AP ammo and he hasn't got the derp gun, the howitzer, or their version of the howitzer, because it would have killed me with one shot. And as we're escaping, hello artillery.
Critical hit.
He probably thinks I'm artillery because the way shells are coming in.
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
So at that range, it's not as bad. Oh, Electo. We don't want to sit in front of him. 181 damage just to me. We do 152 to him. So as you can see, he's not well armored. Second shot's finish him. So some of these lightly armored tank destroyers. Oh, another artillery. How lucky are we?
Critical hit.
Now that one only did 49. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's the front of his gun. Oh, he has fired. And that second shot did... Oh, you see the AMX, he spiced him, wasn't he? So I only did 81 second shot. So there you go. So yeah, whereas if I had had, say, 130 damage, it would have taken 3 shots with the other one. And that other artillery would have taken 4 shots with the 2-pounder. So, yeah. Now, what I do here is I've switched now to premium ammo. I'm sneaking up behind this KV-220. Although he has spotted me, but he can't. He doesn't want to move his gun. I'm still getting orange, not green.
We didn't penetrate their armor.
Still didn't pin him. I stayed too long here.
Everyone get out.
But as you can see there, even with the premium, we couldn't penetrate the KV-220. So it has its limitations, but it's still fun. So we won that game, and as you can see, that was Mastery Badge. I'm really rapt to get the Mastery Badge. That's actually the last game I played in the tank, and I only played, like I say, a few games with the howitzer, but I think probably it's the way to go. Yeah, good game. So next screen, and you can see we finished on top for experience, and second for damage. The KV-220 beat us, which is a bit unfortunate because we got 7 kills, but we didn't get Top Gun. Instead, the KV-20, the one who killed us, got Top Gun and Radley Walters. And how silly of that. Radley Walters could have been mine. All I should have done was just avoided the 220 and gone after a different tank. And maybe I would have got the Radley Walters. But anyway, I tried to shoot the 220. I wanted to test out the heat ammo anyway and see if it worked on it. And it didn't. So now I know. Yep. So now next screen. And you see we fired 35 shots, 19 of those were direct hits, and 16 were considered penetrations, and we did 1 splash damage as well. We received 3 hits, and that was enough to finish us off. We spotted 3. We damaged 9, destroyed 7, which is a sensational game. 120 spotting damage as well, and out of the 26 we made 19 profit. We only fired, I ended up firing 1 premium round, I think, at the back of the 220 there, which didn't pen. So the 949 raw experience was enough for Mastery Badge in this tank. Okay, thank you. Thank you for watching my review of the Covenanter. If you enjoyed the review, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more reviews, please subscribe to ReginaldESQ. Have fun.